What is up? What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 11 of the Bulletin Board material. I have a very special guest. I got my buddy Joe over here of the N.O.O.B podcast.
None of our business.
Well, it's got to be some of your business today, but
a little bit.
So we got Joe on the podcast today. We were unfortunately witnessing this terrible quotation game. Quotation.
Well, you know, it was terrible for you. It was. I mean, it was a game. It was definitely a game.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was a game. So, for those of you that don't know, Joe is actually a Clipper fan. So he's sitting here loving it right now.
I was relishing this loss. It was tragic, though. Honestly, I'm gonna say it was tragic. You know, as much of a Lakers hater as I am, I'm not a hardcore Lakers hater. You know, sometimes I find myself just like rooting for the Lakers a little bit. So, you know, it sucks when you see them lose to a team like Atlanta.
Yeah. That's that was a stretch for sure. But oh man, so Joe's got a podcast. For those of you that don't know, the N.O.O.B podcast and None of Our Business podcast, which he's also. He has a couple other hosts on the show, Phil and Keenan.
Shout out to Keenan. Shout out to Phil.
Yeah, I don't know about Keenan, but yeah, no, I just heard the episode where he forgot my name. Yeah, the episode after I was on the show. So thanks, Keenan.
Just so you know,
that's how you spell his name, right? Keenan. Key. All right, yeah, but.
Just so you know, every episode, like almost every episode since then, Keenan always shouts you out for whatever reason. He'd be like, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me.
No, Keenan's cool, but...
You're a mainstay. You're a mainstay of the show. You know, you're going to be around.
I like that at least I made an impact. You know, I made an impact by making Keenan a priority.
Absolutely. You know what? You're right.
You know, because I heard that, you know, he's controlling you now at this point. So, you know, I kind of knew who I kind of had to go for, you know, if I wanted to return as a guest.
It was hilarious. But it was a fluke. It will never happen again.
I do have a question for you, actually, now that you're here.
Yeah, man.
So, there was an episode where you were supposed to call in. So, I listened for quite a bit, and you didn't call in. Did you ever call in?
I did call in.
You did call in?
I called in about, I want to say it was about an hour 45 into the pod. It was almost over.
Yeah.
I think there was only about half an hour left on the podcast, but I did call in.
Yeah, because I listened to it for quite a bit after when Keenan was saying that I guess they texted you and you said dope, and then you never responded again with that.
Hey, I said dope. I never said when I was going to
call. No, it's fair. That's fair. That's completely fair.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, if you guys haven't checked out the N.O.O.B podcast, you definitely should. Dude, honestly, how would you describe it? How would you describe the show?
I guess it was... It's very hard to describe. It's a cluster.
Yeah, you can. It's fine.
It's a cluster F of a bunch of different topics. You know, we talk about pop culture, hip hop. We talk about sports. We talk about politics. Video games is at the core of us because the three of us are gamers. You know, we love all types of games, and we pretty much talk about sexual advice. You know, or sexual experiences. You know. So we pretty much talk about everything. Nothing is off the table. Like I said, we've had you on the show, and you're very sports oriented. So we like to get views, and we like to touch topics from all walks of life. You know what's funny is that when I was on the show, we talked very little sports. I know we did. Very little. I think we touched on like the J.R. Reed game and we had the intent. The intent was to go there. I mean, yeah, A for effort for sure. But again, like I said, it's not specifically oriented towards anything. It's really about everything, and it's really about the people that come on the show. You know, we want to make sure that we're at least able to vibe with those people. Yeah. So, I mean, having you on was great. So, would you say you guys are like the Seinfeld of podcasts? You know what? I've had time to think about that. That's pretty good. The podcast about nothing. You guys podcast about absolutely nothing. But it's about everything. And everything. Yeah. You know what I think what I enjoy most though about the show or with the podcast is your dynamic. Like all your guys' dynamic. The way you guys, because you guys are all so different. Like all of you guys are so different, but you have like that core thing that attracts all of you to each other, I guess. But I think I was even listening to an episode where Keenan was talking about how he didn't know what he would bring to the show because he knew what you and Phil would bring to the show. I'll tell you exactly what he brought. He brought his perverted old ass.
Yeah, I saw that snap. Was it a snap or an IG story or whatever?
I think it was an IG story.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that's a different side of Keenan that I've seen, right? So I'm glad I got out of there when I did, because I already had like 6 or 7 beers by that point. So I don't know what Keenan would have done with me, but
it would have gone a little crazy.
But that was a great way to forget about this Atlanta Hawks game right now,
dude.
Because oh man, can we just get into this? This wasn't even.
Let's just tear the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, like I was not prepared at all to come and talk about a loss, because I thought there's no way in hell that these guys are going to come out here and just drop a fat dud against the Atlanta Hawks. Like last time, we barely scathed out of that last game. So for us to come and do what we did today, it was just a terrible game. But this, oh my God, like I hate harping on this, but this is exactly what LeBron brings, and his body language today was just terrible.
It was terrible. He looked like a man who didn't want to play for the team that he was on.
No, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I get his plight. He has a bunch of young players that he has to deal with. He has a bunch of players that came from outside, so they probably don't have their chemistry. Not at least down packed the way that he'd like. He thought he was getting a lot of players that were going to help him, but I mean, if you look at what Rondo did today. I mean,
Rondo was non-existent, but that doesn't surprise me about Rondo, because, like, I love Rondo. Like, Rondo is one of the few Celtics that I can say, and I don't really consider Kevin Garnett a Celtic, just because.
I think he does.
I mean, I'm sure he does, because if not, he's a Minnesota Timberwolf.
Yeah.
And, who wants to be that? Well, maybe Wally Zerbiak.
We'll see. We'll see.
Rondo's one of the few Celtics that I've actually liked, and when we signed him, one of the main things I kept seeing all over Twitter were he doesn't show up for these type of games. He doesn't show up for the Tuesday. He's primetime Rondo. He shows up for the TNT games on a Wednesday. He shows up for those Friday night games, the Sunday games, the Christmas Day games.
High profile.
Yeah. But games like this, he mails it in. And I love Rondo, but man, today, Rondo, Jesus Christ, you were like, where was he? Where was he?
I saw the last quarter. Well, most of it, and he just didn't show up. From what I saw, even at the end, that clutch pass could have done something. I mean, all you needed was a 3-point attempt to get fouled, and you guys would have been perfect. You guys would have been back in the game, but I mean,
that takes a lot. That means
he lobbed it over to Bi, and Bi just couldn't close.
Well, and I just. I mean, it doesn't come down to that last play, but even coming down to the last play, really, I've never seen a sequence like that where, like, a team, they looked like they mailed it in, and it looked like the Hawks kept saying, "Here, take it. No, don't leave. Don't be mad." Like, they were literally, like, LeBron's walking off the court with, like, a minute and a half left, and the Hawks are like, no, here, we don't want you to be mad. Just take this, please. I'm a Laker fan. Look, I'm a Laker fan, but I watched this game, and there was a lot of questionable calls that we got in our favor in the first half. Late whistles, just like LeBron traveling. Like, LeBron did that little bunny hop that I thought they changed to a travel because of him, like, years ago. But today, I mean, he did that. I believe it was like towards the end of the first quarter, but the refs weren't even calling that. But I don't know, man. It was a tough game, but this is hard to swallow, man.
Yeah,
it's hard to swallow.
Sounds like, I mean, we were just watching the Lakers Raw post game, and Greg was not happy.
No, Greg, dude, I've never seen Greg that mad before. I think it took me 7 seconds, and I was like, "Whoa, Greg!" I don't even think the sound was on yet, and I was like, "Greg is mad. Greg is mad right now." But that's neither here nor there. But all I can say is this game, if it doesn't cement Luke's destiny, then I don't know what game will, because Magic was sitting courtside, and the team just literally looked like they were not fighting for Luke at all. I can never say that I should never say that a coach lost his team. I mean, I should never say that because I really don't know, but he lost his team. Like, they did not look like they gave a flying to help.
Yeah.
Like any of them.
He looked it too.
He looked it.
You could tell,
Yeah, and I don't know.
He was definitely on edge. And like you said, he didn't really coach that well.
He deserves to get fired. I'm a Luke guy, and I'm saying at this point, Luke, you got to go. You lost the team. I mean, whether it was your fault or not, we kind of knew this going into the season. You were going to be the scapegoat. If this went south,
He was always going to be
there's no way this is going to go on LeBron. There's no way this is going to go on the young core. This is going to go primarily on you.
Look what happened to T. Lou.
Yeah, well, well, Lou. Funny story about Lou, actually, real quick. Just kind of.
Let's go off.
So Ty Lue, when he used to play for the Lakers, right, when he was like the third string point guard, he used to be at the Fox Hills Mall. And if you guys don't know what the Fox Hills Mall is, now it's known as the Culver City Westfield. Yes.
Yeah, I just looked that up recently. That's why I know that, because it'd been years since I'd gone to the Fox Hills Mall, and I was like, I wonder. I got to get somebody directions to the Fox Hills Mall, and it said Culver City Westfield.
Did you mean the Culver City Westfield Shopping Center?
I'm like, no, I meant to the Fox Hills Mall.
Did you mean? I can never ever call it the Westfield Shopping Center. It has to be the Fox Hills Mall for me.
Come on,
if you grew up in Inglewood and Culver City, anywhere in the area, you were like, I'm going to the Fox Hills Mall.
Ghostface talks about the Fox Hills Mall. Come on.
Yeah, and if Ghostface is talking about it, then
it was important at one point.
Yeah, at some point, that's where you got like all your kicks.
Yeah,
and I think
you got your suits. You got your fly.
Yeah,
suits.
you got your fly suits for like, what was it, like $5 for like $100 or something?
Yeah, dude. No, it was like 3 for $200 or something like that, if I remember right. But yeah, you get your suits and everything, man.
So, anyways, I was saying, so Ty Lue, right? So he's at the Fox Hills Mall, and this fool is posted up like in front. Oh, I can't even imagine if this fool were to go on Twitter and like deny this. He was posted up right outside the Forever 21 exit. Just flossing. And I'm like, at the time this is pre Allen Iverson stepping over him, which was like the highlight of his career. Yeah, Allen Iverson stepping over him, right? And he's literally just out there like in front of the Forever 21. And I thought it was the funniest shit. I think I was like maybe like 15, 14 at the time, but yeah, it was
proud.
Oh, for sure. And I'm not even, it's not even about that part. I'm just saying I just thought it was funny. Like how far we've come now where it's like,
yeah, you're right.
Ty Lue, man. Ty Lue.
You nasty, Ty.
Yeah. So, I came in here with an original agenda, right? And that kind of got sidetracked with the Lakers' loss.
Well, okay, sorry. But so if Luke is going to be gone, who do you think is stepping in?
Nobody better than him. I mean, everybody that's out there that's being mentioned right now, they're talking about Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was terrible.
Yeah.
He was terrible with Milwaukee. If you can't tell, Milwaukee's doing pretty well now ever since he left.
Since he left.
I mean, what were the highlight of his actual career as a coach would have been the spilled cup. Did you ever see that? Where there was like there was a call, he needed a timeout. He didn't want to spend a timeout or something like that. So he had somebody spill his drink. So he's holding a cup. And he's like literally, they slowed it down and you could see him motion towards the player like, bump me, right? And he bumps him and he spills his drink. So they have to take a timeout and like clean it up. And that was like the highlight, I think, of his Milwaukee career.
That's clever though. That's clever.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but it can't be the highlight, It can't be the highlight. No. That could be like a great.
Let's just say that Jason Kidd, laid the foundation for what the Bucks are now. Let's just.
Yeah, well,
give him that credit.
So he's Mark Jackson.
Yeah, he's Mark Jackson.
He's Mark Jackson. See, and that's the other thing. Like, if I would have picked anybody, I would have picked Mark Jackson up until like this offseason when I heard like all the background stories about why he was like ushered out of Golden State. Apparently nobody liked him at all. That's a tough thing, especially when you work somewhere. You pretty much live there, and everybody else that lives there with you is like, get him out.
That sucks. Dude.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, hand down, man down.
So, I mean, if it's not Jason Kidd.
That's what I'm saying. I really don't know. Like, I don't feel like Luke deserved this, but I feel like Luke was boxed into this from the get-go.
He was.
There was never, the only way he survived this was if we won a championship. Mm-hmm. This is the only way.
He was going to be successful.
Yeah.
And the only success that they would have accepted was a championship.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to say, like as far back as yesterday, I used to say that Luke was fine as long as we made the Western Conference Finals. But man, after today, I haven't even logged back in. I haven't checked anything. I haven't seen any updates. But if I woke up tomorrow morning to like a Luke Walton is fired like tweet, I wouldn't even be surprised. I probably would just put my phone back down. Like, okay. Well, it's about time.
I wouldn't have even thought of it, unless I was not on this show today.
Well,
I would have been surprised as hell. I'd be like, oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah. This was off topic, but I was telling Joe earlier that, seeing Kobe for so many years, I feel like I kind of got to know. Now I'm not gonna say I got to know Kobe Bryant, but
the caliber.
Yeah, the caliber of player.
You're never really gonna know
the
Kobe.
integrity he had as a player. Like, keep in mind, I'm not saying anything about him personal. From what I've heard personally, but I love the guy as a player. Seeing LeBron now, like getting a peek behind the curtains, dude, I can't even say he's above Kobe at this point in the GOAT discussion. Like at all. Like I am 100% sure. Like right now, if you ask me 1, 2, 3, I'm going MJ, Kobe, LeBron. And LeBron based off purely the fact that he's a freak of nature.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's without saying that LeBron is one of the greatest players, but just based on his integrity off the court, it also reflects that he's not as dedicated to specific teams as he makes himself.
Yeah. The thing with LeBron is that he's got the whole. He's a good guy. He's never in the media negatively, other than like this kind of crap, which you can never pin on him, which is completely a kudos to his like public relations thing.
I mean, a lot of it is the media that vilifies him.
Well, yeah, like I don't even want to go on Twitter right now because I don't even want to hear the stuff that's coming out right now. Because, dude, they take everything and they twist it to what they can, right? Until they can. But
that's one of the reasons KD's so mad with the media right now.
Oh, yeah,
That's why he's like, yo, what did I do to you guys?
Yeah.
But this is not a Warriors.
No. Of course not, because there would be a win attached to this at some point.
There would be a win.
Yeah,
here.
Of course.
Somewhere in here.
So, and the funny thing is, like, I tell people, like, everybody's like, oh, AD, and I'm like, whoa, think about it. We don't have to get AD. We could sign, a Kawhi. We could sign a Clay or whatever.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, I don't think he's leaving. But
no, I don't know.
I mean, I hope he is, but he's not. But I'm saying we could sign a big free agent, and maybe we could still attach a Boogie Cousins because he's coming off of a knee surgery, so we don't have to give him a max, and he might be willing to take a little bit less than a max, right? And as far as I've seen since he came back, he looks like Boogie to me.
He's played well, dude.
I'd match
taking shots. He's getting rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's in the paint. You know, he's doing well. He's doing well. And he'd be great with you guys, actually.
I don't know, but does he take LeBron?
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go.
Because I don't know what their relationship is. I mean, I'm assuming it's got to be pretty good since they were on the USA teams and all that. But
a lot could change.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Boogie's great, but I want to see Boogie when like the Warriors are like in Game 6 of the championships. And it's a tough little stretch, and Boogie blows up, and he causes them to get a technical, and he gets kicked out of the game, and he changes the momentum. Because that's how quickly...
Sounds like Draymond.
Well, yeah. But now you got Draymond and you got Boogie, so...
Yeah, man. So
double the troll.
Double the troll.
LeBron can, like, thank his biggest accomplishment to Draymond Green just kicking somebody in the nuts in the middle of the game. And
pretty much getting the boot. He regrets that forever. He's going to regret it forever.
So, Joe, you being a Clipper fan, how does it feel right now? Like, tell me the roller coaster you've gone in the last, like, 5 years, like, from, like, Lob City to, like, now. Like, what's...
I think, okay.
Well, how about we do this? Let's do, like, bullet points. So, Lob City signs Chris Paul. Where are you at as a Clipper fan?
I'm happy. I'm pretty happy. I mean, Blake had been doing it, had been running it. And I think Blake was just as excited when CP came on. I mean, they dubbed it the Lob City. Yeah. So I thought that it was a great addition. Then having DeAndre Jordan, I mean, it just felt good. It felt like the foundation for something great was happening. We had been getting to the playoffs every year since Lob City came into play, right?
No, yeah, you guys were relevant at that point.
Yeah, Don't say at that point.
At that point, well, I mean, think about it. Prior to CP3, did you guys? I don't think you guys made the playoffs.
No.
Up until like Elton Brand, Cuttino Mobley, Baron Davis.
But we hadn't. Okay, but so we became contenders. Everything was cool, but we always fell short.
Yeah.
So when they traded Chris Paul, I was like, well, that's Lob City. There it is.
Yeah, it's over.
Gone. And then right immediately afterwards,
Blake
goes. Then DeAndre goes. And I'm like, okay. They had enough opportunities. I'm not going to be mad because they did have enough opportunities to go. They had enough opportunities to make it all the way.
Look, I know you were like really trashed at Phil's party the other day, but do you remember the conversation we had about The Clippers being the Clippers. Do you remember that?
I can't say I do.
So we were,
Oh,
so we were talking, and the only reason I said this was you brought up Doc Rivers, but you said like, oh man, with Doc we're good, and I said, well, think about it. When has Doc been good? He was good with the Celtics when he had Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, but he wasn't good with them when they were on the tail ends of their careers, right?
Right.
Prior to that, he was at the Magic. He had Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady. I mean, fine, Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady were pretty injured most of the time, but he didn't do anything with them. Came to the Clippers. I mean, in my opinion, I thought he had more than enough talent to go farther than he did. But to me, and I was a Doc guy, and I am a Doc guy. I shouldn't say I was, but I am a Doc guy. But I think he's overhyped, in my opinion. He's a good coach, but he's overhyped.
I can see where you'd say that. I just feel that he has a good track record with getting great players and taking them. Maybe he doesn't have them meet expectations, but he definitely coaches the shit out of them, dude.
Well, yeah. Well, because when you talk like this.
I mean, look what he did this. Look what he's done this season. He's been able to rebuild a team that's decent.
Yeah, but
it's pretty good.
But
Didn't
based
have
off
all-stars.
of a bunch of guys that are motivated because they're all trying to get paid. Mm-hmm. And when you got a bunch of dudes who are like, hey, I can get the limelight, then they're going to fight for it. And that's kind of where I felt like the whole, like, what's the kid's name? Montrezl Harrell or something like that?
Montrezl Harrell.
Gallinari and all these guys. I mean, they're all B-plus guys. Mm-hmm. B-minus, B-plus guys. Nothing, nothing less than a C-plus for sure. But there's just so many of them that it's like, they feel like they have an opportunity to show what they got. Now, put LeBron James on that team. Now, who's getting the spotlight every night, no matter what they do? LeBron, all day of the week. I just thought, like, that conversation we had that night, you were saying, the Clippers will be back and this and that, and we got all these picks. And I just said, well, the Clippers have never scared me. They've never scared me because as long as and I'm 35, so my entire life has been based off of not one fact, but one of these facts was that Clippers are just not very good, and they never will be good. I will never bet that the Clippers will actually do something until they get out of LA. Because to me, like, they're always going to be a little brother in LA. When they said, hey, move them to Seattle, I said, that is the best idea they've had.
I would not be mad if they went to Seattle.
I mean, dude, I love the Supersonics back in the day. Dude, that's when I grew up. Right in that time. When it was Hersey Hawkins, Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf, Sean Kemp, and Perkins. Something Perkins. Sam Perkins, I think. Something like that. I mean, if I got him wrong, then I'm pretty impressed. But I remember being in the driveway, sitting there playing Jordan versus... not Jordan. Bulls versus Sonics.
Damn.
And sitting there, Hersey Hawkins from the corner up to 21.
And they're looking to get a team, right?
But there was...
There talks about
yeah.
it.
Well,
you know what? I wouldn't be mad if the Lakers went to Seattle.
No, but not the Lakers.
I mean, the Clippers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Clippers went to Seattle.
Yeah, don't go there.
Okay, you're right. Because they don't... What's happening is that they're working with what they have. They don't have a die-hard LA fan base the way the Lakers
They don't.
do. And
but they never will. As long as the Lakers are in LA, they will never have one. Like, it's... I'm not saying they don't have fans because you're one of the five.
Of course, I'm one of the 10.
Guys, yeah.
I like to think. I know one more person. I have another friend that's a Clippers fan.
And it's Keenan.
No.
Keenan.
He doesn't care.
You know what? It's funny.
Keenan. I mean, sorry. F Keenan.
It's all good. I can edit. I edit all of this, actually, so you're good. Catch me off the podcast, man. They fly out my mouth. There's no regard for anybody. You know what's funny is, so Joe is obviously on the podcast. He's a part of a trio. Mm-hmm. In the future, we will have these guys on once I figure out my audio because I'm a noob at the audio stuff, right? So
I'm telling you, what the setup you have right now with the microphone you have right now is ideal for room situations.
He knows a lot about audio, doesn't he?
I don't know why.
He knows a lot. So for those of you guys that don't know, I used to actually manage Joe when he was, I feel like he still is, but back when he was in his prime, when he was an R&B singer, J.So. Right?
J.so, all about the pesos.
Yeah, so this is a perfect time for me to cut into some samples.
My cocaine sugar, and I can't get enough of you. You're my addiction, baby, something like my oxygen. I wanna breathe you in, my lips caress your body. When I'm inside you, I can feel your pressure tighten on me. Cocaine lover, I'm a fiend for you.
So I'm hoping. I mean, the Clippers are going to bounce back. Like I told you, they have a bunch of picks. I think Doc Rivers will do the right thing. I mean, he didn't keep Austin, and everybody was talking about nepotism and having Austin and this and that. So he sent him away. He sent his son away.
Did you?
So
Did you see the clip of Austin like regulating on some kid coming out of the tunnel? Oh my God! It was the funniest like fake tough guy moment I've ever seen in my life. So he's walking out of the tunnel. I believe it was out of the tunnel, in or out, but I think it was out. So he's walking out, and then somebody says, your dad sucks at coaching or something like that, right?
See that.
And he stops and he said, what'd you say?
What'd you say? He's like, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. Hey, man.
Dude, how old was that kid? He must have been like 11 and scared for his life.
Dude, no. That was a full-grown adult.
Oh, hell.
That was a full-grown adult.
I'm sorry.
Hear it. The guy's like, I didn't say anything.
I'm gonna have to listen to it
Dude,
again.
I'm telling you, it was like...
Oh, you should be embarrassed, bro. Whoever... Oh, my God, dude.
What'd you say?
Oh, my goodness. There is nothing about Austin Rivers that scares me, dude.
There isn't.
There is nothing. Nothing. Not the Drake lineup. Nothing, dude.
There's nothing.
Oh, my God.
I know someone who looks like Austin Rivers. What's up? I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are.
Stupid.
Austin Rivers.
So I know you were saying that you didn't really remember what happened that night. So that night we were talking, right? I'm not going to let you off the hook. So that night we're sitting there talking. You're like, no, dude, but... And I'm sitting there telling you, like, why the Clippers are not going to ever supersede the Lakers. Like, ever, in my existence and my kids' existence and my kids' kids' existence. This is exactly why. Because they are the Clippers, and my wife is calling me. But they are the Clippers, and Joe's retort to that was, but we have Jerry West as a general manager. We have Steve Ballmer, billionaire owner now. And I'm like, but tell me what's more Clipperish than not being successful when you have Jerry West as your consultant and you have $1 billion owner. That's the ultimate Clipperish thing to do.
This is what you wanted me on for.
This is
this is what you wanted me on for, isn't it? You were just gonna shove it in my face.
This is the only thing that's gonna make me feel better about this loss. And I don't even. And you know what the worst part is? I just remembered who's holding on to that last spot. The Clippers. Oh, so
let's just remember. Let's remember the good times, and let's remember that the underdogs do succeed sometimes. And, as much as I hate to say it, neither of our teams are really doing incredibly well.
No,
so,
well, I mean, at this point, you guys are over. You guys are.
We're doing okay. We lost yesterday.
Well, you guys are above expectations, though.
Yeah.
Because I would have never thought you guys would be sitting there fighting.
Honestly, I think we're gonna remain as mediocre, but I'd rather be a Clippers fan than the Lakers fan. Okay. Only because
fair enough. Fair enough.
I like to root for the underdog.
Yeah. No,
you guys have a ton of championships.
So anyway, let's talk about your other team, the Golden State Warriors. By the way, while you're rooting for the underdog.
G-Dubs, what's up? Look, I'll tell you right now, the Warriors were an underdog about 5 years ago. They were absolute underdogs. Mm-hmm. They were in the same position as the Clippers. Mm-hmm. And now they're an effing machine, and now they're like the number 2 franchise in the league.
And you know what's funny is
from being bought for like $500 million,
mm-hmm.
now they're worth like 3.7 or mm-hmm. 3 point something like that, right?
Yep.
The only one above them is the Knicks.
Yeah.
So that's amazing to make that turnaround in 5 years.
It
was like
it's about 6-7 years. Yeah. Because Steph's been in the league about 7 years, I want to say. But, and I remember when that rookie year, Steph and Clay came out. Clay wasn't even starting, I think, at the beginning of the season. But I had a friend, Andre Dre Kid, at True Connoisseurs or True Cons. And I remember on Facebook him saying, like, dude, these guys are going to be good. This is prior to Mark Jackson being a whiz and all that. He was literally saying, like, these guys are going to be good. And I didn't think much of it. But, I mean, here we are, obviously, in 2019, and I'm still referring back to a fucking, I was about to say a tweet, but a MySpace comment. No, not even, I'm sorry, not a Facebook comment.
It had to be a Facebook,
yeah. Sorry, I have MySpace on the brain. I was listening to that episode today. So, let's move on to this next topic I had, which was, it's been bothering me for about a week. So, Anthony Davis, right? So, the whole thing finally dies over, right? We're not getting it.
Died over. You know what? I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to say this again, but you were right. You said, do not worry about it. Don't even sweat it. It's nothing. It's nothing. I kept saying, Waj, but Waj is saying this. Waj. And you're like, man, Waj doesn't know anything. Let it go. Let it go. Sure enough, trade deadline passes and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Now, in retrospect, I see. You guys threw the kitchen sink. Everything but the kitchen sink. And I get it. Now, AD, when he goes into free agency, he's going to be like, yo, the Lakers did this for me.
Yeah.
So, I get it. And, I should have just kept my mouth shut.
I mean, it was what it was at the point, but, I mean, what really has bugged me since then, okay, fine, we didn't get him, whatever, the Pelicans kept him, all that BS that went around it. But he says, I want to play. So the Pelicans say, we're going to sit him the rest of the season. We don't want to risk an injury before we trade him. But AD comes out and says, I want to play, and I want to play, right? So the first game he comes back, this is the part that bugged me. New Orleans, the people of New Orleans literally booed this man. This man who has been there for 7 years.
Dedicated 7 years.
Of
his life. Played really hard. I think he, let's see. How many times were they in the playoffs?
A couple. I think like 2 years.
2, right?
2 years.
The last 2.
But
they missed last.
They made it last year, and they made a deep run last year.
Okay,
I think they took the Trailblazers in the first round.
Right.
But, I mean, regardless, they've never had a team around him. Never. Last year was the first time they had somewhat of a team around him, and they started trying to build on it. But, of course, it always comes, and this is me being an advocate for the players. So it always, from my experience of watching sports, it always seems like these teams always want to buckle down and start adding pieces as soon as they see that the end of its contract is coming true.
Of course.
And I'm one of the few people, or I don't know if I should say the few people, but I'm one of the minority that thinks the players have a right to say this. Because if I was working in a place for 7 years and I'm like, you know what, these guys don't value me, they're not putting me in a position to be successful, I'm gone.
Yeah,
like I'm gone, and I have the right to. But this guy, just because he makes millions of dollars, all of a sudden is like he's not to be held accountable for that stuff.
No. See, this is one of the few times that I did agree with LeBron. I saw a post that he posted last week.
Yeah.
Regarding this, was it this situation?
It was it was Harrison Barnes.
Yes, with Harrison Barnes,
yeah.
where he talks about dedication to a team, but when does the team have to be dedicated to the player? It's the same situation. Like, look, this man gave so much time to his team, 7 years. 7 years of his time, dedication. If he didn't get the results that he was expecting because they didn't build the team around him and this and that, then he has every right. Every right. That's 7 years that he dedicated to someone. He has every right to step away from that situation. So I agree. The fact that New Orleans was booing him is just disgraceful.
Yeah. I mean, and I heard that they were booing him, and I thought, no, there's no way. So I had to watch, and they were booing him every time he touched the ball. And he still dropped like 30 points and 20 rebounds.
See?
30 and 20. After getting booed the whole fucking game.
Disrespectful.
Don't quote me on the 30 and 20, but I think it was if it wasn't 30 and 20, it was pretty damn close.
It was like 17.
Matter of fact, I'm about to jump on there right now and check it. But
yeah, dude, it's tragic. It's tragic. Same thing like with KD. The KD gave a lot of his time. He came from when the Thunder was still the Supersonics. I mean, same situation. He's at a point where he wants to do better for himself than to have to wait for someone. Same with LeBron, I imagine. So, I mean, there comes a point where it has to be about the player and not about the team, because you get a situation like Isaiah Thomas, who dedicated all of it, played after his sister had been killed, dedicated his game, his life to the Celtics, and then boom, just like that, they traded him.
Yeah,
not even thinking about it.
But it's because it's a business.
It is,
and that's what.
I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it because I have some opinions about all professional sports, but I don't know if this is the platform for it.
Yeah, no.
I'll take it back to mine and invite you over for that conversation.
Ooh, shit.
Ooh, wee.
Who's that? That says it says Klay Thompson's finger.
No.
I'm sorry for anybody that's not paying attention. I'll put this up on bulletin board material, but it's a picture of Klay Thompson's finger. Oh, god damn, that's gross. All right, so I'm just gonna take it off that.
Tell me that's not broken.
Oh, I'm
He
sure.
broke it right now.
Oh no,
didn't he?
now he's only gonna shoot like 70%.
Oh, you should have been watching this game. I should have been watching this game.
At this
No,
point, I feel like
it'll
if you're a
be
Warriors,
fine. It'll
if
be
you're a
fine.
Warriors fan, you just kind of have to like get ready for the
Just
playoffs.
pop it in. They're gonna
Yeah.
pop it back in. You know,
Like, you're like,
be
all
out
right.
for like
You're like,
a couple months, and he'll be back for the
it's
playoffs.
the All-Star break.
Yeah.
All right, time to start stretching. All right, let's see what we got.
They're a machine, man. They're a machine.
Yeah,
you can take
it's-
one out, and someone else will come fill it.
Yeah.
Just fine.
But they're gonna have a tough time with Philly. They're good.
Oh, don't
they're
tell
good.
me about Philly and my Tobias going to Philly.
Yeah, that was tough, dude.
Dude.
I was literally like climbing into bed when I heard the news that Tobias got
Dude.
traded, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
I woke up to see Tobias and Boban as Sixers. I woke up that morning and it said, "Thank you, Tobias." And I was like, "What? What do you mean, thank you, Tobias?"
Tobias Harris, man, he's a baller, man. But
Jeez.
I mean,
He's gonna be great, dude. He is gonna be great.
well, I don't know if he's gonna be great, but he's gonna get fucking paid this
Oh,
offseason.
yeah, he'll definitely
He's
get
going
paid.
to get paid because he is. Oh
Wait,
my
why
God.
why don't you think he's gonna be great?
Because he's Tobias Harris, and I think he has a ceiling. He has a ceiling. He's a solid B+ guy. So you got. Let's just rank him right now in Philly. So right now you got Embiid, you got Jimmy, I assume, Ben, and then you got Tobias. And then on top of that you have JJ Redick,
Yeah, you have
right?
TJ.
And then TJ McConnell goes off every once in a while, apparently, or at least against the Lakers he does. So that guy.
You're amazing. Yeah, you're all that. And it doesn't take a genius just to see how special you are to me, baby. I said you got that something that I'm looking for. And if I got that something that you're looking for, we should be together, lady. We should be together, lady.
So Joe, where are we at with this, man?
You tell me.
I don't know. I don't
Look, the way I see it right now, it's either going to be the Lakers or the Clippers going to the playoffs. As it stands right now, the only one in our way are the Kings and the Jazz. The Jazz are about to chalk up a loss to the Warriors, of course, and then the Kings are the effing Kings.
The Cardiac Kings, bro. You know that's what they call them? They call them the Cardiac Kings.
The Kings are gonna choke.
Well, we've already had a little bit of Bogdanovich like bad luck, so I can't say that they're not balling. At this point, they're above us, so I don't know, man. This was a terrible day to invite you over. That's all I can say. This was a terrible day. But if you're willing to be on call the next Laker win,
You just call me in, man. You call me in. I'll take it.
but I do plan on inviting Phil and Keenan on
Absolutely.
and doing a whole group thing.
Yeah, dude.
I actually want to take Phil out to play some catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know we was talking about that he never really had that experience, right?
That's fantastic.
right?
Dude.
But let me tell you this: next time we're gonna give Phil like the full experience. So we'll take him over to the Forum since it's like a couple blocks over.
Absolutely, dude.
We'll give him a little bit of that nostalgia what the Lakers are supposed to be,
Yeah.
and then we'll mention the Clippers across town.
Oh, come on, man.
Well, they'll be right down the street pretty soon. So
They will. Oh, that's gonna be great, man.
oh,
We're gonna have a place, guys. Don't worry. We're
Yeah.
gonna have a place.
I want to feel better right now, and this game did not do that.
You know, all you have to do is just remember how many championships you guys have already. You know.
Yeah, that's not
Just
doing
take
it for
that
me.
in and,
That's not doing it for me. I'm sorry, LeBron. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. You came here. You said you were the fucking GOAT. Be the fucking GOAT then. Be the fucking GOAT, because you are not even Kobe Bryant. These people today had a right to sit here and say you're not better than Kobe.
Can I tell you something that irks me? At the beginning of the season, Magic was very clear about Luke, and because everyone was like, okay, if they don't make the playoffs, is Luke gone? And he said, you know what? We know it's going to take some time for the team to build. We're not going to hold Luke accountable for it. The team is going to need some time to get right. You know, it might take some time, but we're in it for the long run. That's probably not verbatim, but it was pretty close to that.
Yeah, I agree.
And now, you know, I want to say like a couple months ago, I saw another report that said that they need Luke to get results. And I was like, that's funny because they just said that it was going to take some time and they weren't going to hold Luke accountable.
Well, it all started with Luke's admonishment. Like, that was several months ago. But Luke's admonishment literally came like a day or two after LeBron looked irked. A reporter said, hey, are you upset? And he said, no, you'll know when I'm upset. And then, like, literally the next day or the day after that, I believe, Luke gets chewed out by Magic Johnson and the reports. Right? So, I mean, honestly...
This is what LeBron does.
Yeah, no, and I mean, anybody that's seen him do it should expect it. And, I mean, like I said, I wasn't a LeBron guy. He's here, so we got to deal with it. Because we got 4 years of it. But it's not going to be a fun ride. Not at all. So, you know, if you guys were expecting this to be like...
Or it might. You don't know. They might hand him the keys to the city. And then you guys start winning.
They can't hand him. I want him to earn that shit.
Yeah.
You can't step in here after the great Kobe Bryant and just get keys to the city just because you're LeBron James. You did all that somewhere else, bro.
Magic is doing it, man.
No.
Magic is doing it. That's exactly.
I refuse. I refuse.
We have to make LeBron happy.
You know what? Honestly, that actually surprised me too. I was very disappointed in the fact that it looks like they're just literally bending to his will. And I was hoping that this would be like a partnership, but nah, it looks like this is a clutchmanship. All team clutch, all the time, 24/7. Anyway, I want to thank Joe for coming out here, man, and blessing me as being the first guest actually on Bulletin Board material, right? I mean, I was only the first guest of 2019 on the new podcast, but you know, you were the first ever.
Oh man, I am honored. Right? You know what? I'm glad we had you on. And again, like I've said, you're gonna be one of the mainstays of the show. We'll have you either on or calling in, and you know, with key stuff. I know for sure I want to have you in with the playoffs. I think what you're doing is great. The Lakers Raw stuff is great. And I'm just happy to be part of this, dude. Like, you know, I was never really big on just being focused on sports or watching sports diligently. So I'm glad that I've made my way back into just closely following sports within the last 10 years. And I'm glad that I was worthy enough for you to invite me onto the show, you know, because of the conversations that we've had or whatever. So, you know, it kind of makes me feel good that I'm kind of doing the right thing. And I'm happy to be part of it. So
yeah, man.
I'm honored, man. I told you, I'm honored to be on here. I'll be on here anytime you want me. Don't even worry about it. Just call me.
I was about to say, do you want me to call you? Do you want me to call Sonia? Who do you want me to call?
I mean, call her manager.
Well, speaking of Sonia, I'm like looking. I got like 3 missed calls from Kim, so that means I gotta wrap it up.
I know. Dude,
right? I'm sorry, my producer, not Kim, but my producer. The producer's telling me I need to wrap this up, but yeah, no. I mean, honestly, like when you guys started your podcast, I was pretty excited because you know, knowing you, knowing Phil, not knowing Keenan that well, and I'm really glad I didn't know him that well because now that I'm getting to know him. I don't know. I feel like this animosity is going from podcast to podcast.
It's gonna go back and forth.
Yeah, you know what?
You guys are gonna have that relationship that Matt Damon and Jimmy Kimmel have.
I would love that. That's amazing. I would take that. Hey, maybe that's something we do, right?
Hey.
Yeah, no, I was really glad when you guys started your podcast. So I'm really hoping you guys end up doing big things with it. So, you know, I think as far as the podcasting community goes, I think there's plenty of space for everybody. So when I hear these riffs between like these people and these people, I was thinking, Jesus Christ, man! Like there's so much room in here for everybody. It's really about all of us, you know, collaborating and coming together because that's the only way we can really beat, you know, big business.
Absolutely, we have to. Gone.
Yeah. So, you know, once again, this is Rey El Barbon.
Hey.
And this is Joe Castellanos, a.k.a. J.so, a.k.a.
Tag handle is at Joe M. Castellanos. It's my name. It's the only one I have.
Yeah, you can catch it. Well, you might have 2 platforms out there with your name, actually. Right? And one of them might have like a January 10th birthday.
You're actually right. You know what? I get wished a happy birthday every January 10th, and I'm like, damn it, Ray! It never stops, and
Never
I love it.
It's a platform I created back when I was managing him, and I never updated it. But whatever. Anyway, so yeah, but you can catch him on the None of Our Business podcast, the N.O.O.B podcast, with opposite Phil Castellanos and Keenan Duncan. Keenan spells Cianan Duncan. I know your name, Duncan. Not only your first name.
Love it.
Right? But anyway, we're gonna sign off. So hopefully the next time I talk to you guys, I'll have a new coach in LA.